welcome everybody to another episode, the last day of the month for February. Welcome to DA, Zolt, Bruiser, Adam over there. Thought we'd get Clint in tonight, but we'll see if he rolls in late. How in the hell are you all?
Zolt is going to get kicked out of the NASCAR Fantasy League tomorrow.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Corey, what's happening?
Why would you kick out perfection?
I would kick out perfection because I am looking at it in an analytical point of view and getting my ass kicked every fucking week.
I told you, man. It's a stats man. He's a stats man, and you just
I was looking at average finishes, the last number of it. I mean, I was like, I had the best lineup going into yesterday, and then all the Toyotas decided to shit the bed all over themselves. And then Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson decided to get into it. William Byron decided to door slam Tyler Reddick. Like, there was a whole bunch of shit that went on, and I was not happy.
Yeah, that deal with Byron, that was uncalled for. I mean,
it wasn't Byron's fault. Reddick cut a tire, got sideways, and Byron
Reddick had cut the tire and literally for a quarter mile, and Byron just happened to come up off and just way too
Byron got loose and had nowhere to go, and Reddick was coming down. And if you listen to the radio, I did. But if you listen to their radio, like Byron's radio, like Byron when
during the
race, but like Byron had nowhere to go. It was there was only one wreck yesterday that I think was purposeful. And that was the Bubba Wallace into Keselowski.
It wasn't purposeful.
It sure looked that way.
You didn't hear his radio?
I didn't hear Bubba's radio.
Bubba came right across and said, "Hey, tell the six I apologize. I've been battling this nose all day long."
Yeah.
So he's having issues with the front end all day, I guess. Because that was the first thing.
That goes back to last year because they were having issues with the nose on the Camry last year too.
Same problem he seems again this year. New cars, same problem.
Well, then maybe Toyota needs to take that car to the wind tunnel and
figure something out.
Because I was watching practice and qualifying on Saturday, and just you'd see them they'd go low on that in 4 coming onto the front stretch. And
you mean the Amarola spot?
It was Keselowski did it. No, Keselowski did it off of 2, but Chase Elliott did it there. Chastain did it there. Harvick did it at 4. All those cars coming off of 4 hit that bump, coming onto the front stretch, and you could watch that car visibly get upset and just lose it. And it was like they were saying on. Clint Boyer said it, Mike Joy said it, a couple other people over the weekend said it. Those cars aren't – if you look at a picture of the last generation car head on from the front to the back, you'll notice that it kicks out towards what would be the right side if you're sitting in the car in the driver's seat. The car was skewed that way. Like literally the whole car was built to kind of skew that direction. These are dead nuts straight. Without that skew, they don't have that big old sail on the right side to slow them down when it gets loose on the back end. So,
well, the one thing that I kind of noticed is a little weird is that they get like the cars are tanks. Number one is and like they've taken some brutal hits and the cars haven't really like been damaged as much. But it seems like a lot of the shit's underneath, like suspension and shit like that seems to be more of the problem they're having issues with now than the actual bodywork itself.
It's how low they're going to end up having to raise those cars up off the ground by at least an inch. You can't suck them down to the ground like they want to because of the suspension, because of the components, the rear diffuser. There's no more. It's a Valance now. It's not essentially a chin spoiler like they had last year, where where it would just, if you hit the grass with it, it would dig in and rip the front end off the car. They don't have that anymore. But listening today, the main conversation was the tires, because Goodyear's got to do something about that tire. I don't know if they need to run a lower air pressure, or if Goodyear needs to make a little bit thicker of a sidewall, a little bit taller of a sidewall, if they need to come down an inch on the rim size so that they can accommodate for a little bit bigger of a tire. But you can't have a situation where a guy cuts a tire down and then is stranded out on the middle of the track,
And he can't even move.
and he can't move it, and you can't hook it up to the wrecker, because the moment you hook it to the wrecker, by rule, that car is done. Which yesterday you saw with Christopher Bell. They drug him down pit road so he could change his 4 tires. And then you've got the Toyotas yesterday were overheating because of the sand and stuff building up in the radiator. You've got Darlington. You've got Bristol dirt coming up. You know, I mean, you get down there in the swamps of South Carolina, especially in Darlington, you got all the dirt and whatnot there on that track. You're telling me that they're not going to overheat there?
Only a matter of time.
Or Coda's got sand traps. Somebody goes off on the corner and goes into one of them sand traps and gets a cowl full of dirt. You're going to overheat that. You know what I mean? Like,
how long is it going to take to pull these fucking cars out of there?
You're right. Well, they pull the sports cars out pretty quick, so I'd imagine it wouldn't take them too long. But with the new car, I've already kind of considered this season a wash. Not because it won't be an exciting season or a fun season, and we won't see new guys win that we didn't think would win and all that stuff, but simply because this is an entire year of live R&D that we get to watch every Sunday.
Yeah, but that's kind of the fun part about it.
It's
everybody's
fun,
trying to figure it out, you know.
It's fun, but it's also frustrating from a fan perspective, because you had a whole extra year to develop this car. A whole extra year. This car was originally supposed to debut last year, and you had an entire extra year to develop it, and you're still at a point where you haven't figured out what happens when a tire gets cut down and you can't move the car.
Seems like Ford's got some of their shit together though. They've been strong.
Doug Yates and the Yates engines have come out swinging. And you look at Harvick. Harvick started at the back of the field yesterday and ended up with a top 10
finish. Or 8th, or whatever it was.
He ended up 8th. He ended top 10. And for a minute there, I was super excited because I thought Daniel Suarez was going to win that race.
I was hoping he was going to, but then once I saw Kyle coming, I said, fuck. I knew Larson was going to take it.
Joey did what Joey does and get selfish at the end of the race. And if he'd have shoved, if he'd have shoved Suarez out in front of Larson, he could have side drafted or caught the draft off of Suarez and then passed him coming down the backstretch. And he probably would have had a Joey Logano winning that race yesterday. Because the two of them together, if somebody was pushing Suarez wasn't, you weren't able to catch him.
I mean, think about this car though already. I mean, you got guys like Suarez was up there. Daniel Hemrick. Eric Jones was there all day yesterday. Hemrick had his issues, but he ended up finishing, I think, in the top 12 or something like that. You know, it's like a bunch of these no-name. I mean, the guys that aren't the big names are actually up there. Austin Dillon was, other than a restrictor plate race, was actually up there yesterday.
Well, I can't really say a whole lot about Austin Dillon because he had that good run at the end of 2020 where he won a race or 2 races and then was in the top 5 for like 4 straight. Like, he was doing pretty good.
But it was cool to see Suarez up there, though.
I think he's going to win a race this year.
It'd be a road course, I bet.
I think he's going to win an intermediate.
Okay.
I think he's going to win an intermediate. I think Eric Jones is going to win a race this year. Here's the thing I didn't know. Maury Gallagher, the guy who owns GMS Racing, you know what else he owns? He owns Allegiant.
Oh shit!
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So he bought the controlling share of Petty Racing. It's now Petty GMS. And so that team now has a large influx of money. So I can only imagine that Petty GMS will be up there. I don't know how much I like the Ty Dillon with him. I'd like to.
Right.
I think having Eric Jones and maybe a Matt Benedetto there might be okay. But
I feel really bad for fucking Reddick. That dude had the car to beat yesterday.
Yep. Yes, he did.
oh my god,
Oh.
and I'm such a Reddick stan. Like I love Reddick.
I'm a
I
big fan
love
of his too.
He did a great. I'm sitting there going, "Wow, I'm kicking myself for not picking that one." And because I was going through and I was thinking the same thing. It's like, you guys said it last week. These new cars, you're going to see a lot of different people winning. So I was like, all right, I picked nobody from last week whatsoever and went with 6 fresh guys and said, all right, let's see what else works here. And didn't know I was going to lose half of my group. Right.
I did too.
You suffered the same fate that I did on the Daytona 500.
But the funny thing is, I still got 145 points back-to-back weeks. I'm like, at least I'm consistent.
So I got up to 233 this week, like the total score, like my overall score.
Oh, the overalls.
Yeah. So looking at that, I'm like, man, if I didn't have such a shitty Daytona 500.
So it's still a long season to go.
I know it's a long season, but man, that's such a hill to climb.
Yeah, but like you said, it is a long season. But I mean, shoot, I think even last year I was like in the basement, and it took 6 weeks, and all of a sudden he's just creeping up into.
You can get on a run real quick.
I got on a pretty solid run right in the middle there, and next thing I know, I'm right underneath Gale. I'm like, oh, okay, this is interesting.
The finish of the 500 and the finish yesterday, I think next week I might have to throw Eric Almirola in Vegas. I might have to throw him in my starting lineup just to see what happens.
Chase Briscoe's another one you got to keep an eye out for. He's been up there too.
I like Chase Briscoe a lot. I was telling George when he was over for the 500 why I like Briscoe so much. Like that kid. There's a lot of young kids.
Cindric.
Fuck him.
Well, I was gonna say he was one that I actually picked in my grouping.
You know why I don't like him? It's not because he's not a nice guy, and he's a great dude. From everything I've read about him or heard about him in interviews, especially the way he handled getting the bump and run last year at Phoenix with Hemrick, won the championship. Like, great dude. I don't like him because he's too goddamn good. Like, just stop. You should not be able to come into the Cup Series in your rookie year, in your first Cup race, and win the Daytona 500. That's not supposed to happen.
Yeah.
In the car that we all would have liked to have seen it won by now. With one Brad Gay.
Yeah. Believe me, I'm still mad at 14 because he's the one that didn't fucking push Brad in the 500 to give him a run to make it in the end for the 500.
Well, Briscoe tried. Briscoe
got hung out.
He got strung out and couldn't catch back up to Brad. Like, that wasn't Briscoe's fault.
No, but by the time he caught the run, he had to get out of Brad's way because he was going to run him over.
Yes. Just I was kind of hoping that Logano behind Bubba would have given him a harder shove 2 seconds earlier, because then we'd be talking about Bubba Wallace winning the 500 and the internet and NASCAR would have melted down.
I would have never heard the end of that.
Do you know how excited I was just to see that? Like, I like Bubba. Bubba's a good driver. He's really good on super speedways. He's probably got another year there at 23-11 before he really starts, coming into his own. But he's learning, right? He's finally got the right equipment. He's got the right people around him. He's learning. But, man, I just wanted to see the good old boys from, like, Bama and Mississippi and all of them that get on Twitter just melt down.
Well, I know you caught that interview they did, that little segment with Kurt Busch, where he was like, I've been there. But I've won the 500. Your time's coming. Or it's like he was almost like not like in a nonchalant way rubbing it in that he finished second again. But he was trying to give him like, you'll be there, you'll get it. Like, just give it time, you'll get your win.
Well, I think Kurt Busch at 23-11 is interesting. It's an interesting kind of thing, simply because not only is he a former champion, he's a perennial playoff guy. And look at where Kurt Busch was in 2001 to 2007. He got fired from Jack Roush because of his attitude. He had to go all the way to the bottom to a little-known team called Furniture Row that he helped to build up for them to eventually win a championship with Martin Truex. Like, Truex can thank the foundation that Kurt Busch laid for his championship. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I always like Furniture Row team.
What a damn track. I was like, holy crap, they're lining it up 5 wide, and I'm going, dude, this is going to be an interesting race.
You know, that track out in California is an exact carbon copy of Michigan.
Is it really?
Yes.
Just wider.
It's not. It's an exact carbon copy.
Really? It's
the problem with
MIS, huh?
It is same as MIS. The problem with MIS though was that they couldn't get the way they repaved it a number of years ago, and so the grip was only along the bottom. They couldn't get them high. Then last year they came in, laid the resin down at MIS, and they were getting 2 and 3 wide in certain cases. This year I bet you they go 4 wide at MIS, and I'll be there for it, and I can't wait.
So we'll turn around and check our league overall standings, and there's some guy with this Jimmy G MVP crew
That's
300.
right where you would expect Jimmy G MVP is at the top of the rankings.
I can't be mad. I can't be mad simply because of like the name and the fact that it's you. If it was Akers, I'd be pissed.
Hell yeah.
The link would have been deleted already.
I'll say this though: if you go to overall standings, I'm currently 4,838 overall out of everybody.
Hey, actually, that's pretty good.
I was gonna say last week I was like 13,000.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in the 90s.
You've moved up quite well.
I am in the 90s. Like, it is bad. But we're 2 races into 26 of the regular season, so.
And you know, this is you can attribute this completely to luck, and it's going to balance out.
Who did you pick? Who did you pick this week?
Like, I remember this shit. Hang on. I'll let me pull it up.
Why can't we just click on it and see the rosters?
I wish you could.
This week I went with Kyle Larson, Joey Logano, Austin Cindric, Martin Truex, Denny Hamlin. My garage was Kevin Harvick, which I could have had even more points, but
well, Hamlin and Truex didn't finish all that great.
No, but the other 3 did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a while there, Blaney was up there in the top 5.
Yes, he was, and I picked him too. And then all of a sudden he disappeared.
He had that last pit stop. Pit stop screwed him.
Damn. Because he was right there too. I watched him, and all of a sudden he was like 16th, and the next thing you know, 9th.
He finished. He finished. I think he finished 18th, and Cindric finished 12th.
What about as much as we hate him a lot of times? What was it? Kyle Busch was 4 laps down at one point and ended up back up on the lead lap.
And finished 14th.
Yeah.
14th. And I put him
I put him back in my garage.
I put him in. I started him.
Yep, me too.
And then I put him in the garage in favor of Bowman, I think.
And then he wrecked.
And
I
then
pulled
Bowman
Larson
wrecked.
out of my garage.
You pulled Larson out of your garage? There you go. Well, how do you put I don't want to.
Just let it go. Don't even ask.
Hey, remember, just throwing darts, man. Just throwing darts.
I'm just glad I didn't start Chase Elliott this week. After I was going to, and then after qualifying on Saturday, I went, no, I'm gonna let that one sit.
I did. Was doing good until Kyle Larson cut him off.
I'm as much as I can't stand him, I started Kyle Busch. And says something. I mean, I still got Kurt sitting there, so Kurt or Kyle's gonna start for me next week in Vegas.
They're hometown boys. That's what,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and on those matchup picks, I almost got mine right.
I almost had all four.
I got 3 out of 4.
I missed one by 1 place.
Yep.
Ooh.
Eric Jones.
And Eric Jones and Daniel Suarez.
See, I got that one right, but I got the Blaney and Cindric wrong.
But see, Eric Jones is usually a mid to backpack guy, and Suarez kind of usually runs like top 15. So I figured he would have had a better finish than Eric Jones.
So where are they this week?
Vegas, Phoenix, then they come back east and go to Atlanta.
And then it's Richmond after that, I think.
Let me pull up the schedule.
I know, like, Richmond's early. Like April, the weekend of the 1st through the 3rd, I think.
I mean, I guess we could talk NASCAR for a little bit. Simply because we got no baseball to talk about.
Hey, I've got 3 separate topics to bring up in 3 different categories.
Sounds good to me.
None of them are going to last very long.
So Vegas is a small track?
1.5 miles. It's what's called it's called an intermediate. Phoenix is only 1 mile. Atlanta. So the month of March, they are at Vegas, then Phoenix, then Atlanta, then they go to Coda, and then the weekend of my birthday, they are in Richmond, and then Martinsville.
So 2 short tracks basically back to back.
So they go Richmond. April is Richmond, Martinsville, Bristol for the dirt, and then they go to Talladega.
I was gonna say because it looks kind of tiny.
What, Vegas?
It's a fast track.
Yeah.
Vegas is 1.5 miles. That's just the way it's shot. It's your standard. It's not any bigger. It's not any smaller than Charlotte, Atlanta, or what are all the Kentucky?
Yeah.
Texas.
Okay.
So that's the dinner bell in my house.
I was just gonna say, not here.
No, we have. You saw the bell in my kitchen.
Right.
That's a legit cowbell. It's a legit with the old harness and everything that I found in my basement, and I tack it on the wall and then ring it for dinner because you don't know where anybody is in the house. So, but they oh my god, I lost my train of thought. The bell rang and I lost my train of thought.
Dang, what?
Oh, you were talking how much you enjoyed California yesterday. You enjoyed the Fontana race.
Yes.
They wanted to take that track and turn it into a 1/2 mile high bank.
No, leave it alone.
Leave
it the way it is. I like the fact that you can have a guy up on that wall and then that dude goes low and all of a sudden slingshots himself up in a pass. I was like, yep, I can do this all day.
Just wait till the fall. Wait till the playoffs come around and they run Miami, and then watch Kyle Larson and Tyler Reddick up against. They are literally. You see how far apart my hands are?
Yep.
That is how close the right side of that car will be to that wall.
Oh, we saw a lot of that yesterday. There were a few
But
times
they run that.
Front wall.
Larson and Reddick and Chase Elliott will run that for the entire race. They will run that wall at Miami.
Well, Elliott got a little too close for comfort and early, and I was like, well, I'm glad I didn't pull him in.
It happens.
He ate it a little early too.
What's your three?
But no,
what's your three topics?
That was a lot of fun though.
Okay, well, like I said, they're in 3 different categories. So you've got serious, you've got angry, and you've got comedy.
Let's start with angry.
I was gonna say, let's see the angry.
I'm gonna start with angry.
Yeah, let's start with
yeah.
Hey, let's talk about Art Briles.
Who?
Former coach of Baylor, who got hired as the, I believe, OC for Grambling a week ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
he
anymore.
resigned today.
Why?
So here's the well, first off, let's go back to why he got let go from Baylor, which was because of the sexual assault allegations that he ignored.
Go on.
Go on. Yeah.
So Grambling hires him, and I believe, God, was it the Hugh? Oh God, who was it? I don't want to.
coach.
Yeah, they put out a statement, talking about second chances and all this other stuff. And
Wait,
half of
Hugh
that
Jackson?
statement,
Yes.
Yeah.
As in the Browns, Hugh Jackson?
Yes.
yeah,
He's the head coach of Grambling now.
yes.
Go on.
Yeah, so they put out a statement. Like about half that statement was okay. It's your typical second chances, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The other half of the statement was things about surviving and coming back from adversity, and also dealing with where we understand and respect how victims of sexual assault and sexual harassment could actually be triggered by revisiting certain things. And it's like, that how the hell that got in the statement, I don't know.
It sounds incredibly tone deaf.
Yes, and the part about survival and learning, Art Briles was not the victim.
No.
He was the enabler. He was the one who he completely ignored everything that came to him the time he was there.
I have questions.
Go on.
Can we do a Q&A for a second?
We can try.
Okay. Were the sexual assault allegations made against members of the football team?
Yes.
And I'm assuming they were made against members of the football team.
Yes.
And they were made by primarily female students.
Yes.
So Art Briles didn't report them to the head coach?
Art Briles, when he would receive these allegations, would generally either delegate them to an assistant coach to deal with, or would just flat out ignore.
Oh, okay. And it's right that he got fired. However, I will say that if we learned anything from sexual abuse allegations, the head coach needs to go too, because if the assistant coaches didn't report it to the head coach, or if the head coach heard rumors and said nothing, that's no better than what happened in Penn State.
There was an independent investigation. I'm trying to think the name of the firm that was hired, Pepper Hamilton, I think, to do an independent investigation. And they flat out, oh God, hang on, let me see if I can find the quotes.
Did they clear? I guess what you're going to tell me is that they cleared the coach of any wrongdoing.
Hell no.
No. I was going to say, I didn't think so.
Let's see if I can find. Her school failed with an NCAA investigation, only cleared football by citing handling as a larger university problem. Quote, in each instance when the head coach received information from a staff member regarding potential criminal conduct by a football student athlete, he did not report the information and did not personally look any further into the matter.
The head coach.
Yes, Bryles.
You said he was the OC. Oh, he was the head coach. I thought he was. I thought he was the OC. My bad.
Yeah, Grambling hired him as the OC.
Okay, I had that mixed up for a second. I thought he was the OC at Baylor as well.
No. And we all know that, look, head coach, leadership, responsibility, et cetera, et cetera. We also know there's such a thing as second chances, and I understand that. Here's the thing. He was hired a week ago from Grambling, right? Or for Grambling. He said on a radio, he said on the radio show the day he was hired, he would report any issues to the proper people, and also said he had been exonerated from the Baylor situation.
That doesn't sound like exoneration to me there, buddy.
No, it does not. Not at all. So obviously there was a huge backlash. They tried to ride it out for a few days, and today Art Bryles resigned. But the fact of the matter is, I mean, he
never been hired.
No, he should not have been hired. And frankly, at this point, I mean, if he still doesn't get it, and it's 6 years later, your second chance can come in another industry.
Well, not only should he have never been hired, like
we're talking about Hugh Jackson.
Hugh Jackson. I was going to say Hugh Jackson's the one who did the hiring.
But
Doug Williams had a problem with the hiring.
But not only should he have never been hired, like, look, whatever you want to say about Joe Pa and what happened in Happy Valley, right? That's you can claim plausible deniability. You can claim the time period that it happened in and the way that you handled those things, especially with the Joe Pa's comment of the funny uncle. Like, okay. We can all kind of agree that what happened to Joe Paterno was a bit tragic, right? He went from revered head coach to pariah to dead in a matter of months.
Yeah.
And had statues of him ripped down, had his name taken off the library, all this stuff. And as we've come to find out, as the years have gone on through the Sandusky trial, we found out how much deeper and more sinister that went on the Sandusky side, and that Joe Paterno may not have been as forthcoming as he should have been with university officials, but there were a number of university officials among the years who knew about it and just let it go on. And they got fired or were forced to resign. The university president, the athletic director, there were a number of them that lost their jobs. In this particular situation, if Art Bryles is the head coach and he got fired from Baylor for not following through on sexual assault allegations by female students against members of his football team, not only should he have been fired, but he should be a social pariah to anybody in the NCAA. I don't think you should coach a JUCO school for the rest of your life. This is the day and age where it's time to finally start taking that shit seriously. And if you can't, bye.
Not as angry as I expected.
That was angry. It's just
it was right. More disgust.
Yeah.
Just the fact that we even had to go through this.
Yeah. All right. So since we're still on the
we got serious and we got comedy.
Serious.
Let's go serious.
Serious, and then we'll go to funny.
Okay. Serious is mainly mainly news, but I mean, obviously it's current world related. So, sticking to sports, um, FIFA and UEFA have suspended Russia from international competition.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and
F1.
and they're clubs from European competition. So go ahead and sit yourselves out for a little bit.
And
F1
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 also. Yep,
F1
they also
suspended the Moscow Grand Prix.
Yep.
You've got the IAHF, also known as the International Ice Hockey Federation, bans both Russia and Belarus from tournaments until further notice. And they've dropped Russia as the World Junior hosts for next year, which, I mean, they're halfway through building a 21,000 seat arena for that competition. So have fun with that.
While we're talking about a serious issue,
Yes.
and this does relate to sports, can we at least have a good, kind of attaboy for Vitaly Klitschko? Did any of you see the picture of him or the video
both
of him?
Klitschko, both
Well,
Klitschko brothers. Yes.
Yeah, Vitaly and Vladimir.
Yes.
Have you seen the picture of this, George, or the video?
No.
Him and his army fatigue or his army ship.
Well, there's a video of Vitaly standing on top of the building in Kiev. I think it's the city hall in Kiev where he is the mayor in full fatigues and body armor with a rifle shooting out into the streets as Russian troops approached. Was he a three or four-time heavyweight champion? Boxing champion.
I think it was 3.
And Vladimir's one of the best to ever be a heavyweight boxer. Yeah. That dude, badass. Just badass.
There's also a picture of him in like the full getup with the helmet and everything, and that helmet looks like it's made for a child on his head. And it's a standard issue military helmet.
He is a large man.
Yeah, mad props to him though.
Continuing the theme, the NHL has suspended business with their Russian partners, which they've got a couple partners. They literally signed those contracts like 3 months ago, and they've just, sorry, we're just gonna hold off.
Did you see the Hasek tweet?
I did not.
So Hasek went off on Alexander Ovechkin.
Yeah, Ovechkin tried to play it nice and level and not piss anybody off.
I saw that.
Failed.
I saw that clip of the press conference, and Hasek. Let me pull it up and I'll read it. I'll read you because it's like a couple of. It's like 2 or 3 tweets together. It's one of those like when you read it. It's Twitter, not Tweeter. God damn it, I'm an idiot.
The old tweeter box.
I literally just typed tweeter.com into the thing.
It is Monday.
It's been a long day.
While
you're talking
you're
about
looking that
Dominic
up,
Hasek calls Ovechkin chicken shit for comments on the war.
Yeah, but there's a whole tweet thread to it. Don't steal my thunder, George. Let me find it and read it.
While you're finding it, I don't want to say I'm going to defend Ovechkin for what I'm just going to.
There's more to it than that. Like there's literally like 4 tweets in a row. It's a whole thread.
Let me say this about Ovechkin and other Russian players. I'm not going to just tie it to him. The fact of the matter is, they don't know when all is said and done what's going to happen there. And at some point, most of them will probably want to be able to go home. I'm sure that is in the back of their head when they're saying certain things and answering certain questions.
Well, the other thing though with I can understand that, but to want I mean Hasek pretty much called for the the suspension of all Russian players in the NHL.
Yeah, I got it right here. This is
I have it. Again, don't steal my fucking thunder. Let me read the thing.
Go for it.
So in response to Ovechkin's post game press conference, Dominik Hasek tweets, "What? Not an ableist, a chicken shit. Or not only an ableist, a chicken shit, but also a liar. Every adult in Europe knows well that Putin is a mad killer and that Russia is waging an offensive war against the free country and its people. The NHL must immediately suspend contracts for all Russian players. Every athlete represents not only himself and his club, but also his country and its values and actions. This is a fact. If the NHL does not do so, it has indirect co-responsibility for the dead in Ukraine. I also want to write that I am very sorry for those Russian athletes who condemn Vladimir Putin and his Russian aggression in Ukraine. However, at the moment, I also consider their exclusion a necessity."
Okay, while I appreciate where Dominik Hasek is coming from, he has gone way off the rails. The players have absolutely nothing to do with what's happening.
Hey, George?
Yeah.
Pull up that tweet.
It's here.
Scroll down. No, click on the comments for like the main tweet. Yeah, show more replies. Scroll down a little bit.
Google Translate?
Nope, keep going. I want to see if it'll... Oh, it's not popping up. There's a really good picture of Putin and Ovechkin all buddy, and so this is, I mean, Ovechkin did campaign for Putin in Putin's last election. So like, as far as Hasek's comments about Ovechkin, I think he's spot on. But I do agree with you to the extent that Ovechkin did go off the rails a little bit.
But is this where we bring up the point that maybe we should just get athletes to shut up and play their sport and not worry about politics? Because I know a lot of people do the same thing about LeBron with the shit he says.
No, I think if you are well thought out and even if you are off the rails like that tweet gets at the end, I think you have a very large platform with your fans and your fan base of the team that you were on, and you should use that. And this is why I didn't have a problem with what Kaepernick did. I may not have agreed with what he did, but I didn't have a problem with it because he used that platform to get his message across, because that was the largest platform that he had.
Let me just say this also. Sports and politics have never been separate.
Ever.
They have never. Ever. They've never been separate. Now, we can go large stretches without intermixing the two, but they've never been separate. I mean,
but I think you should
take a look at Muhammad Ali's career and see it. You tell me politics and sports were separate.
He had that was nothing. Nothing.
True. I mean, there's been it's constant.
I mean, he nothing happened during Muhammad Ali's career. He did nothing of note anyway politically. It's not like they let Elvis Presley serve in the Korean War and the Vietnam War as not a conscientious objector, but just kind of going to the barracks in the USO thing. And Muhammad Ali wanted to serve as a conscientious objector, and they were going to send him to the front line. So,
Okay, I got one category left. Hang on. First off, let me just show my pro Ukraine. Yeah, okay, got my jersey. I specifically made sure I grabbed this jersey out of the closet.
I'm going to ask you a weird question.
Go for it.
You're Polish, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I played on a team of Ukrainians who adopted me.
No. What I mean is, so this This conversation happened at work today, and I literally put my headphones in and walked away because it was just plain idiocy. I will share this idiocy with you so that you guys can all. Do you know why Russia invaded Ukraine? It wasn't to get the borderlands that are primarily of Russian population and to increase their size. No. Ukraine is a shadow government formed by the CIA after the fall. Yeah, hold on. It gets better, Zolt. It gets better. After the fall of the Berlin Wall and the USSR and the Iron Curtain, the reason that we know that it's a shadow government set up by the CIA is because, look, their borders haven't changed since 1991. It's just a puppet government. The Ukraine was already a part of Russia. It just was there. Russia's just reclaiming it. Russia also found 10 biological weapons in Ukraine that they were going to get so that they could detonate them. And Russians found information linking the Bidens to the fake election of 2020, along with other several Russian pro-American Russian nationalists. That's why, like, I
This
put my
is where
headphone.
the comedy part of the program comes into play.
This dude is dead serious.
I don't know if I can top that.
Adam, I think I'm gonna go get my Captain Morgan private stock.
Dude, I put my headphones in and walked. I looked at him. I said, "Do you realize how idiotic you sound right now?"
My head hurts after hearing that.
I was gonna say, yeah, I need a drink.
That's not the craziest
At this
thing this
point, a
dude is.
cowboy cocksucker sounds good.
Like, this is not the craziest thing this dude has ever said either.
How do you deal with it?
Wow.
By putting my headphones in and walking the fuck away.
Smart move. I mean, believe me, it must have just been the way that the day is gone because my work day was filled with crap like that. Just stupid things all day long.
Well, try and top that one, Zolt.
I mean, I'm not going to top it. However,
your move, funny man.
in the realm of comedy, I bring you the USFL.
Oh God, that was bad.
Okay, hang on. No. There's actually a thing behind it. And this literally, I think, was from Florio like 15 minutes before we went on air.
Did they fold already?
No, not yet. The owners and executives of the original USFL have sued to block Fox from launching a league that uses the brand and team names of the Spring League that was founded in 1983. In other words, Fox did not go and get the rights to use it.
What?
In a complaint filed Monday,
didn't that league? Before you go further, when that league folded and absolved,
yeah,
didn't that end the trademarks? Because trademarks aren't indefinite, copyrights aren't indefinite. They have a time limit on them. We're talking about a league from what, 83?
Yes.
So 30 years ago.
Almost 40.
40, almost 40 years ago.
Hey. 30.
No, it wasn't. 83 would have been 40.
86.
I was born in 83.
I was born in 82.
All right, let me keep.
You guys are killing me.
Okay. The plaintiff alleges that Fox's USFL is an unabashed counterfeit and that Fox has taken the league's name, 18 names, and 18 logos to which it has no right. It has traded on the false narrative that Fox's league and USFL teams are the offspring of the original. They are not. So this is not the first time the original USFL has brought this up to Fox, because they were actually negotiating last year over being able to use the name, likenesses, etc. Negotiations occurred, but Fox allegedly made it clear that it, quote unquote, had no intention of discussing the matter further. Fox claimed that the USFL had been defunct for more than 30 years and that it had abandoned its trademarks.
That's right, because you have to.
You have to keep them up.
That's basically what this is going to boil down to. Whether the original USFL retained the rights to the league name, team names, logos. If the courts say that yes, they still have those rights, I mean, where does this league go? I mean, they just basically are just going to have to give them whatever the hell kind of money they want to use them.
Yeah, but the thing is that it says Larry Zonka is the initial manager of the ownership group bringing the lawsuit. Wait a minute.
Larry Zonka needs to go back to American Gladiators.
Yeah.
With Mike Adamle.
Oh.
What in the blue hell?
Here's a question I have, though. Is they're going after Fox, but isn't there a deal where it's Fox and NBC are going to be airing the games?
Yes. I was going to say the first game they said it was going to be on Fox and NBC.
So why isn't NBC named in it? Because they already went after Fox once?
I don't know. It says NBC is not named in the lawsuit.
Probably because Fox is the primary on the league.
Yeah, but like you said, it's like, okay, the real, the quote unquote real USFL. It's like, yeah, if you're belly up, you don't claim where's your proof of ownership? I mean, it's null and void.
It's not a rock or whatever from back in the day when they chiseled it in.
I don't know. I'm taking a crash course here in trademarks.
I was going to say, isn't Larry Zonka also a financial backer of the XFL with Dwayne Johnson, if I'm not mistaken? Oh, isn't that interesting?
You mean the company that The Rock basically gave to his wife to run?
Ex-wife.
Ex-wife.
Yeah, there's and there's some real weird financial workings.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so what I'm reading here real quick is sort of confusing, but not really. Trademarks do not expire. However, you have to keep them up, if that makes sense. In essence, you have to use them at least once every 10 years. And the argument that they're making, the argument that the original USFL is making is that obviously there is value in those original trademarks, because if there wasn't, Fox wouldn't be trying to use them. So the fact that they maintain value, they're trying to claim, means that the trademarks did not expire. I don't know exactly.
Basically, they're trying to get their piece of this pie, and Fox is going, sorry, but get the hell out of here.
Although, to be fair, Fox originally tried to negotiate with them for the rights anyway. So this is just going to be a mess.
Well, here's an answer directly from a lawyer.
Okay.
Once a trademark registration is granted by the USPTO, it will last for 5 years before another filing is required. However, if you shut down your business or stop offering your goods and services before that 5-year mark, the trademark will be considered abandoned from a legal perspective, as it is no longer in use and no longer valid.
Case closed.
What if they continue to sell merchandise with it? Because you could still have bought USFL merchandise.
There wasn't even a website up, dude.
Yeah, but you could still get it.
Amazon.
I couldn't get a Memphis. What was it? The Memphis Showboats.
Yeah, you couldn't get squat.
If they had continued after that league went defunct in what, 88?
86.
But when did it start? 83?
83.
So
no, 83, 84. I'm sorry, defunct in 85.
It went defunct in 85. So it went defunct in 85. And then, so by 90, The trademarks would have been abandoned and no longer in use. This is well before the advent of the internet. Yeah, I don't see how the original Larry Zonka and the original USFL has any leg to stand on in this argument.
83 to 86. Yeah, it was right the first time. It was. Yeah, I don't think they do anything. They just want to turn around and get their a little bit of extra piece of the pie, since it's getting quote unquote relaunched. And it's like, oh, good, we get to get in a little bit of this money ourselves. And
As I said,
I think
comedy.
a judge is going to sit there and go, you know what, get the hell out of my face.
As I said, comedy.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, we could certainly sit here and analyze the USFL draft that occurred last week if we want to.
When Shea Patterson gets taken number 1, no thanks. I'm out.
Although, to be fair, the quarterbacks that were drafted after him, who would you have taken before him?
Or you know what? We need George's little spinner wheel thing.
I was going to say the wheel of death. It's like, what?
If you want to talk comedy, I was listening to NFL radio for just a little bit this morning, flipping back and forth. And I don't know if you heard this, George, but they were talking about the weird possible trades or free agency moves.
Oh, the Tom Brady of the Cleveland Browns thing?
Nope. I'm not talking about that one.
God.
Not talking about that one.
I almost wrecked off the road.
I'm not talking about that one. I heard this. I heard it this morning, and it's not the first time I've heard it. Garoppolo to the Browns for Baker Mayfield in a second. A second, not a first, a second.
Well, there goes any chance of Jimmy G getting an MVP.
Hang on.
I was going to say, still in a career just as
is Jimmy G under contract? Or is he a free agent after this year?
No, he is under contract, but they're talking about trading him. They've already got an agreement between the two of them that he will be traded.
Okay.
Yep.
I didn't know if he had one more year on his thing.
Well, the other one, what was the other? Russell Wilson to the Colts.
Really?
Well, I mean,
yeah, that one. I was like, oh, wait a minute.
Okay.
Didn't even think about that matchup.
First off, Russell Wilson's going nowhere unless he demands a trade.
Right. I even watched in the radio interview from 2 weeks ago, and he said, as far as he's concerned, he wasn't going anywhere. Yeah,
I actually
to which I did play it for the boy, and he was very happy.
You since you brought it up, there was actually a article this afternoon on The Athletic specifically about quarterback.
Oh, they're gonna talk about the whole Kyler situation.
No, well, I mean they brought it up just in
that
conversation.
That was an interesting conversation start too.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it kind of lays out just the fact that the combine is this week. You're gonna have every team in Indianapolis, so lots of people will be talking, etc. Obviously, if Rodgers gets traded somewhere, the Broncos are leading the pack, quote unquote.
Nice play on words.
Thank you. Reportedly, the Commanders have inquired about damn near every quarterback that might be available.
Surprise.
Let's see. Colts, Buccaneers, Saints, Panthers, Steelers also figure to be asking around. Teams continually sort of ask about Deshaun Watson. We just brought up Seattle, and the same thing. Raiders are apparently prioritizing a contract extension with Derek Carr. The Saints are going to scour the market, but they are also seriously considering re-signing Jameis Winston to be their quarterback.
Why?
He played okay until he tore his ACL again.
Sure.
Kyler Murray, he's thrown his hat at the Cardinals and say, look, give me money. They bring up the Browns. Obviously, this is the question mark year now. It's like, what are you gonna do? Give him the extension or don't? And if not, what's your plan? Because you got to have a plan.
I think
and of course,
the
big reason this is all coming up is because, let's face it, this quarterback class this year is not great.
Not fantastic.
I don't know if you can give him an extension. Kyler or Baker. I don't know if you can. I don't know if that's smart football to give them an extension.
You can franchise tag them.
Yeah, I was going to say they can be franchise tagged after this.
Wonder how much that would cost.
I had to stuff some pork tenderloin down my throat real fast. Some stuffing.
Well, for a medium grade quarterback, I mean, the franchise tag going to be roughly right where he's at.
There's a 4.5 pound pork butt marinating in the fridge for tomorrow, so I'll see you for dinner, George. You can come on over.
I was just gonna say I just had the city chicken cuts in the crock pot all day long. Had it with the apple bourbon sauce. Oh, that was good.
I mean, what are we thinking? Is Rodgers going to have to be the first domino to fall before all this rest of this quarterback carousel shit happens?
I think he wants to be. I think Rodgers wants to be. I think Rodgers wants to be the big splash for somebody. Because think about it, his entire career he has spent in Green Bay. It hasn't been the belle of the ball.
And they've restructured already everybody's contracts that they can. And that nice big whopping gigantic salary cap hit that, the number that we were looking at a few weeks ago has shrunk a little bit, but not a lot. And there's just no way when you have no wide receivers and you have a quarterback that you need to move, it's gonna happen. So
I don't know why. I just get this feeling he's going to San Francisco. I know you'd be ecstatic if he did, but
it's no Jimmy G.
I mean, Bruiser just said it. He's been no belle of the ball, and it's like, yeah, all right.
But he's in a situation with the 49ers where if you can't beat them, join them. They've always been the one that's been in his way in the playoffs.
Yeah, but again, why not Indianapolis when we know that they've already said they're looking to move on from Wentz?
Deebo Samuel, Michael Pittman, Brandon Ayuk, T.Y. Hilton.
Fair enough.
Or Denver, where the only thing they're missing is a quarterback, and you just grabbed, the offensive coordinator and guys that
Yeah. Which is
guys that know exactly how to use you.
Yeah.
I think he's going to end up in Denver.
I was going to say, I do too.
I think he's going to end up in Denver, but I also think he's going to be no better than Jake Plummer.
Think about that. Think about that division.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Hold on. I said Jake Plummer, and I watched Zolt's face light up. I want to see this. I want to hear what he has to say.
Sorry. I literally was going to another thought, and the question is, what does Green Bay get for him?
You got to get at least one first, right?
I was going to say, you're looking at it. I would think a couple of firsts.
I think he's worth a first and a second this year and a third next year.
I think Green Bay is probably going to ask for a couple of firsts.
Well, keep in mind, I have to believe if you're trading for Rodgers, you're doing an extension too. So
Yeah, so you're probably looking at a first, a second, and a second, then a second next year, unless you got the seconds next year.
Or you could do first this year, a second this year. Yeah, I could see a first this year, a second this year, and a second next year.
Next year, yeah.
But the thing with, if I'm trading for Rodgers, I know what I'm getting as far as his pedigree and being a championship caliber Hall of Fame quarterback.
Plus, you still have 18 mil on the contract, right? Was it 18 mil still?
18 mil.
I don't know.
Roughly. I just checking with the stats, man, before I go,
But
throwing
I would also say that I know what I'm getting in him, but I also know that I'm getting a quarterback that has been around for more than 10 years, has had injury problems this season. And
that damn pinky toe.
And has been in an offense the last number of years that has just been a spray and pray type offense. So
that's a hell of a way to put that squad. Yeah.
So
all right. So if
I'm
we're
not willing to give up. If I'm Denver, I'm not willing to give up 2 first-round picks for him. I would.
Yeah, he's going to be 39.
And it's not like he's Tom Brady. He lived in Wisconsin.
Right.
You're telling me he didn't stuffing cheese curds down his throat Sunday night after a game
So
at a bar in Kenosha?
His cap hit this year is $46 million.
Exactly. He's not worth 2 first-round picks.
Now, obviously, you are talking extension restructure. But at the same time, how far are you taking out that restructure? I mean, how old is he going to be at the end of that?
You're looking at least 3.
45.
2. Ooh. Yeah, you're gonna be eating it no matter what.
Who do you want? I mean, who would you rather want at 45? Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady?
Brady.
Exactly. He's not worth 2 first-round picks. And I don't know if Aaron Rodgers comes into my team immediately and we go to the Super Bowl or at least contend. You're still in a division.
That's kind of the way it's just worked in the past 2 years. So,
but you're still in a division
to go all in. Yeah, but like I said, somebody's willing to turn around and go all in.
But you're still in a division with the Chargers, who are up and coming. Herbert wasn't that bad, this season.
No, I agree.
You still have Patrick Mahomes to contend with in your division.
Yep.
And if the Raiders can get the head out of their ass.
No, let's not go that far. Nope, let's not give Doug Kaufman the hope.
All right.
I said if.
Let's settle down here.
Yeah.
I said if. I didn't say they could. They should. I said if.
That's a big if. That if is so big.
But with head coaching woes behind them, especially what happened with John Gruden earlier in the season. Carr isn't a terrible quarterback, and that team showed signs of being a fairly decent team this season. So, you could be in a division where you're having to fight week in and week out with your division rivals to even get a sniff at the playoffs. It's not like the NFC South where the worst place team flip-flops every year with the first place team. It's you know what I mean? I want to see the Cowboys trade Dak Prescott and Aaron Rodgers go to the Dallas.
Oh, God. He's already dealt with McCarthy once.
Oh, my God.
Can you imagine that conversation between Jura and Mike? Mike, we traded Dak. I brought you a new quarterback. Super Bowl caliber. We're going to take the Cowboys at the top. Who is it, Jerry? Aaron Rodgers. I could just imagine Mike pulling the gun out of his desk and shooting Jerry right there.
So it looks like the opponents so far, it's the Cards, Texans, Colts, Jets, Niners, the Titans, the Seahawks, the Rams, Jags, and Panthers.
The Ravens.
And why did they put the Ravens on the back end there? That's stupid. And
Those are all the away games.
We got a pretty tough schedule.
The Panthers, Jags, Texans, and Jets.
You got the
They can
Cardinals.
lift up their left butt cheek and rip those off.
Nah, the Jets are going to surprise some people this coming season.
Yes, by getting what, 4
Did you
wins?
just say that with a straight face?
I did.
Did you seriously just
I
say
did.
that with a straight face?
I would not. I don't think the Jets are going to be a playoff team, but they'll probably be a 7 or an 8 win team.
I said Salah would need 3 years. I'm gonna stick by that. I'm gonna say he still needs 1 more, and then they're good to go.
Well, they got a good start with having 2 first-round picks this year.
Yeah. Oh no,
A 7 or an 8 win team doesn't make you good. It makes you middle pack, but they're going to be in games that they shouldn't be in.
Well, like I said, I think it's going to take him 3 years to really, put up around the 9 and sneak maybe the 10th win in.
Man, some of the shit that comes out of your mouth, no wonder Goldhammer kicked you off the air the one day.
Oh.
And
It'll
because,
take 3 years.
because I'm here to ruin people's fun, because that is my job. It is, in fact, my job description. If Dallas were to trade Dak Prescott and then trade for Aaron Rodgers, just so you know, damn it, you beat me to it.
What'd you grab?
The dead
Oh.
cap hit for trading Dak Prescott is $77.8 million.
Oh, good Lord.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Wow.
Yikes.
Which is
What?
better than it would have been last year.
Wow.
That's rough.
But last year is when he signed his new deal. So
Oh.
last year would have been
Wow.
95. Now it's down to 77.
Listen, I was making just a fantastical
Yeah.
hypothetical. There's no need to get serious with this, Zolt. Like,
You were hypothetically destroying the Dallas Cowboys.
that's fine. That's fine. I don't think. Listen, I don't think 3/4 of America would care. Like, I
No, but it's still funny.
especially fans of NFC teams, like they really wouldn't care. Because every year we have to hear about how the Cowboys are America's team and Cowboys this, Cowboys that, and then we get into the playoffs or towards the end of the season and it's where's the Cowboys? Oh yeah, they're going home again.
Stephen A. loves it.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say the whole America's team. It's like, dude,
Just
That
like
was
counting
back
on
in the
Michigan to do something
70s.
useful in the Big Ten.
that was a '70s thing.
Have I attacked you yet today? No.
I missed that whole conversation. I missed what he said.
No, you just
I-
pissed him off, ripping 2 good weeks in a row in NASCAR. That's all.
This is your fault.
we were talking
for
about the
giving me-
Cowboys.
Yes.
We were talking about the Cowboys, and I said, counting on the Cowboys to do anything useful in the NFL is like counting on Michigan to do anything useful in the Big Ten.
Yeah, they did this past year. I'll take it.
Well, even a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
And the NASCAR thing is your guys' fault for giving me the login info.
I figured you were going to come in and whoop our ass. Like the numbers are your thing, man. That's
Yep.
what you do.
Yep.
You're like a weird Rain Man with numbers.
And gotta love them for it.
Do you need to watch Wapner at 4:00?
Wow.
Sir, I am old. At 4 o'clock is when I take my nap.
Dude, you ain't lying. Dude, I get out of work at 4:30 and I come home. I'm home at 5 and I take a half-hour nap. Listen, if Country Kitchen was still around, they had the early bird special, I'd be in there with the seniors. Telling you.
We're talking NFL. Did you guys even not going to bring up the international games this year?
I was going there because they
They're
took out.
playing
They're
in
like,
London
we're
and
going to give you the Buccaneers. Wait a minute, you're going to give me the Buccaneers without Tom Brady?
I was going to say, where's Jacksonville's home game this year?
London.
London.
Germany? Isn't the one game Germany?
There's a game
Well,
in
Germany's
Germany
the Buccaneers,
too.
and then Mexico's the Cardinals.
To be fair, if we wanted to play an NFL game in Mexico, we should send Houston. They're closer.
The Packers, the Cards, New Orleans, the Jags, and the Bucks will be the home teams for the international matches this year.
You know the team that they never
Pack,
send
Saints.
overseas?
The Pack, Saints, and Jags will be in London. The Bucks will be in Germany. And the Cards will be Mexico City.
You know who they never send overseas? The team with the largest international fan base.
The Browns.
They never send the Browns overseas.
They went the 1 year to play the Vikings.
In London?
Hang on a
That's
second.
right. Yes, they did. Yep.
Hang on a second. Rattle off those teams again.
Packers, Cards, New Orleans, Saints, Jags, Bucks.
New Orleans and the Saints are the same team.
Or, I'm sorry. Packers,
thanks.
Cards,
Perfect.
Saints, Jags,
So-
Bucks.
So you've got the Saints post Breeze, you've got the Buccaneers post Brady, Jacksonville post nobody, and the Packers probably post Aaron Rodgers.
Right. Yeah.
Lose your quarterback, we ship you overseas.
So I'm assuming Jacksonville's opponent will be the Texans. Because
That
think
makes
about it,
sense.
last year in London, it was the Dolphins and the Jags that were the two home teams, I think, for those games.
And they're pretty much figuring that the Seahawks will be one of the opponents, considering that they've got the road games against those teams.
Well, I thought maybe it was considering, Wilson will be gone.
No, they can't.
Blockbuster trade announced.
The kids in bed.
Blockbuster trade announced in the NFL. Jimmy G going to Seattle for a first.
Oh my God! Bryce would jump out the window. Bryce would be jumping out of his window.
Listen, there's plenty of
You want
Browns.
to see an 11-year-old go nuts? I mean,
George,
I videoed that boy when the Seahawks lost by this much to the 49ers. That kid was stomping up and down on the couch, crushing pillows. He was
George
using
there's
language that I utilize, and I let him have it.
George, there's plenty of Browns fans that will show him the perfect spot on the 480 bridge if that happens.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not going to advocate for the suicide of a child, but we can all understand that feeling.
He would lose his ever-loving mind.
I would laugh.
I think he'd give up.
really
He'd
hard.
give up football for the rest of his life. It would just totally ruin him for football and his fandom. He'd be scarred. He'd be like, nope, I'm done with football. Forget it. That's football. Don't know.
No, you don't get to do that.
Oh, he would.
Because we Browns fans and Lions fans have lived through some shit.
Here we are.
Yep.
Zolt's either staring at numbers or counting.
I was walking around with my hound one day. She come along with a poodle and it started to play. Hot dog, hot dog, hot dog, ooh, hot dog. I said, honey, our puppies are drawing attention. She said, come on inside, I'll show you the whole collection. Hot dog, yeah, hot dog, hot dog, ooh, hot dog. With this woman golden child. She dealt me 3 of a kind, and every one of them wild. Hot dog! Hot dog! Yeah, hot dog! Ooh, hot dog! She said, let's spin the bottle, and we spun it mightily. When the spunner got to spinning, it was pointed at me. Hot dog! Hot dog! Hot dog! I think I'm getting lucky. Hot dog! I might be getting me some. Well, she gave me the news right after I kissed her. She said she had an nymphomaniac sister. Hot dog! Hot dog! Hot dog! Ooh, hot dog! We went out for ice cream. And I said, honey, I'm down to my stick. She said, my mouth is so dry, I wish I had something to lick. Hot dog! Hot dog! Hot dog! Hot dog! Oh, hot dog! Ooh, hot dog! Hot dog! I might be getting lucky. It's hot!
And we're back.
Much to the dismay of our one viewer.
Oh, yeah. It happens.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
You ever cough and feel like your back crack?
Yeah.
Oh. I coughed, felt my back crack, coughed again, then farted, and oh.
I was going to say, that's what I thought happened.
That's
I was
excellent play-by-play.
I was scared I shit myself for a second. Like I had to.
Got them grippers let loose.
I do. I thought for just a second I was like, oh no, this is gonna be bad.
T-Bruiser get up and do the penguin walk through that door behind him.
Oh, it wouldn't even be a penguin. It would be like a dash. It'd just be a run.
Incoming
Oh,
or outgoing.
both.
All right. So we know baseball is ixnayed right out the gate so far. Looks like spring training games. I still say we're losing a season. I don't think they're anywhere near.
I don't think they survive if they lose a season.
Ooh. Really?
You have far too many people who remember '94 and remember what happened then. And we've seen attendance numbers across the MLB dropping. I don't think that if they lose an entire season, teams like Pittsburgh, Cleveland, St. Louis, Minnesota, I think it will be a drastically reduced league of teams that can compete, which is one of the main bitches that fans have right now.
Well, because the only thing right now, MLB is, I mean, they've got so much money involved in TV ratings that if you have no TV ratings this year, that's a big kick right into the groin of the ownership.
Well, the TV contracts, low ratings, the TV contracts are pretty static. You're going to get the money provided you have games. you're going to get the money for the TV contract regardless of how many people are watching. How many people are watching is going to affect your next TV contract.
Well, I'm saying, but if there's no games, you get no.
Oh yeah,
TV.
if there's no game, well, if there's no games, then there's no expenses either. You're not paying your players, so there's nothing.
Now, who was it that you said that the last one was in '94, correct?
Yeah, that was the strike year.
Who won the World Series before the strike that year?
The Yankees in '93, I think.
Yeah, and the sad part was the Indians were on track in '94
to win the series,
to win the damn thing. Yeah.
I couldn't remember. I was like,
well, that's like the year the Browns left. They were going to win the Super Bowl in '95. They were at least going to contend for it.
I just thought that would have been ironic that every time, like, you know, if the Braves had won it then, like, why is it every time the Braves win the fucking World Series, there's always a strike the year after?
I believe it was the Yankees.
Probably was.
No, the Blue Jays.
Is that the one with them and the Phillies?
Yep. That was the Joe Carter home run.
Yep. One of the greatest moments in baseball World Series history.
Is it better than the Gibson home run, though, for the Dodgers?
I'm more of a Joe Carter fan than I would say.
I know, but you want to talk about moments in MLB. That Vince Scully calling that with Gibson hitting that home run. There's a good discussion. And postseason moments.
Are you talking about just MLB or?
MLB. I mean, Davis's Game 7 home run against the Cubs for the Indians.
Still watch it anytime it pops up on my Facebook feed.
David Ortiz. Well, yeah, David Ortiz starting that comeback for the Red Sox in 2004.
Kirby Puckett, the one year when he hit the game winner or whatever, remember?
Kirby Puckett.
And right now, this is the longest lockout so far. All of the other lockouts have been a few weeks and 30 days. This one's been on since December 2nd. This is the longest they have had a lockout in history.
I would ask Zolt if he has any good Tigers postseason moments, but we all know the Tigers really don't go to the postseason.
No, I remember '84. I do. I really do. I was alive.
How old were you? 3?
9. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm old. I'm not as old as George, but I'm old.
I forget you're pushing 50.
Look, that number is there in the distance. It's in the distance. It's not here yet. It's in the distance.
You're on the other half of 45.
Was this really the? On the show sheet, I don't remember seeing this comment. How old is old?
If you were 9 in 84, you're 7 years older than me, and I was born in 82. And I'll be 40 in April. So yeah, you're closer to 50 than you want to admit.
Well, I mean, isn't anybody?
I still have 11 years. Well, 10 years and a couple months.
Hey, age is just a number. At least that's what everybody tells me.
Right.
I just had a handful of bad jokes pop into my head about that. And I'm gonna let them slide.
Let's talk about. Hang on. Let's talk about cheerier subjects. Let's go back to the cheerier
Wait, I'm just gonna keep leafing through my Dungeon Masters guide here.
I see that. Let's go back to cheerier subjects like the MLB lockout. Okay, well, yeah, you're right. By far the longest lockout. But let's face it. I mean, it took 43 days of the lockout before the owners actually gave a proposal.
which is sad.
What, you didn't know you were going to lock them out? You knew.
Right? You totally know. Yeah, it's like, hello. I mean, come on. Right now, if there's no season, you literally fall to the bottom. And Mark Martin said it yesterday. He said NASCAR's peaking right on up there, and it's like, you ain't careful, you're gonna fall below NASCAR. And it's a real possibility.
Can we stop using NASCAR as a negative, kind of objective?
I'm just saying that they are
Highly doubtful.
not in the top echelon of viewed
Major sports.
But they,
the major sports.
from like 2001 to 2008, they were, though. They outranked hockey and baseball as far as viewership.
Fair enough.
Not in Canada.
They're not even a real country anyway.
Oh, well, that just went the 3 viewers from Canada.
I'll try that one next time I cross the border. See how that goes.
My apologies to Steve Sharon and everybody else who's friends with Marcy. It's like,
that's the song.
Yeah, thanks for killing the Canadian viewership on the replay. Appreciate it.
Blame Canada. Blame Canada. With all their hockey hullabaloo and that bitch Anne Murray too.
Really?
You guys never watch the South Park movie?
I'm waiting for the copyright strike.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, it's like you've been kicked off the air. Sorry.
Trey and Matt Stone won't care. Trey Parker and Matt Stone won't care. They've got enough money.
Well,
they don't care about our Podunk podcast on Monday nights.
But speaking of the hockey, though, the Stadium Series, Adam, you caught the game the other night.
That was a good game.
Who was it?
Tampa Bay and Nashville at Titan Stadium.
Okay.
And it was funny because if there's video, if you find it, the whole fucking Lightning team came out in cowboy getup, jean jackets, cowboy boots, cowboy hats, you name it. That's how they came into the arena, or into the stadium, I should say.
I feel like that was a shot at Nashville.
Might have been a little bit, but there was a pretty good fight in the first period, and some shots, some nice little straight punches were landed, but in the end, Tampa.
I'm really glad you're getting into hockey, especially with being a bandwagon fan of Tampa Bay.
Oh,
I've heard that before.
Here we go again.
That's why you said it.
That's why I said it.
It was a nice setup, too.
Yeah.
The uniforms they had were pretty badass.
Come on, quit scrolling. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I know full well he's not a bandwagon fan.
That was incredibly well done.
I like how they do those.
Yeah.
How many
I
stadium
haven't heard
series?
one yet.
How many stadium series games are they playing this year?
I think there's one more. I think they had one. Didn't they already have one, or was that the first one?
Well, they had the Outdoor Classic, and that was Minnesota, and they played that on New Year's Day in negative 30.
Yeah, that's right. I knew there was another one.
That game just looked ouchy. It was like they weren't even hitting as hard as they could. I mean, it looked cold.
They usually do 2 a year, so that might have been the last one.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like there's nothing listed for another one right now.
So, I mean,
I think we need to get like a Penguins and Flyers one, and we can do it in like Hershey or something. But instead of them actually playing a hockey game, we'll just hide random instruments of destruction like shivs ball bats,
Oh,
things like that around the ice, and we'll
When you
see
try to
how
play
long.
some road rage.
We'll just see how long it takes Philly to find him.
Are you talking the players or the fans?
Yes. Yes.
yeah.
The answer,
Yeah. Yep.
the answer to
Whatever
that
you
question.
throw onto the ice is fair game.
Well, octopi, plenty of. Yeah, it looks like those were the only two for this year.
I was thinking, it wasn't Detroit did it at the Big House, did they not?
Yes, I believe against Toronto.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right. But
I know-
why? I mean,
And the test run was Michigan State hockey.
yeah,
Well, they did one years ago. They did a outdoor classic at the Jake at Progressive Field with Ohio State, Michigan.
and I wish I'd have been into hockey more then. You know what I mean? I'd have definitely went to that.
I thought about taking my kids to it, but I couldn't couldn't bring myself to give the Dolans and/or Ohio State money.
The
Fair enough.
Michigan State game, if I remember right, it was like 3 degrees.
Yeah, it was another cold one.
It was ridiculous.
And I mean, the only reason I bring that up is I'm surprised I haven't tried to do something at the Horseshoe yet with the Blue Jacket. You know what I mean?
Oh, I will not be here next Monday.
Okay.
I will be in Cincinnati going to a training thing for Still.
Yeah, sure. You get paid for that, I hope?
Oh, yeah.
You know what this means? I mean,
No
Cruz is
NASCAR.
No, it means he's going to finish in first. You're going to finish in first.
Oh yeah. He'll be like,
I'll do well next week, and then I won't be able to.
Oh, shit.
right.
If I was staying at a hotel, I'd be able to come on, but I'm staying at my sister's house, so I'm gonna hang out with my sister on Monday night. And my
Fair
niece.
enough.
I'm taking we introduced my niece to hockey when they were up for Easter last year. And she likes just passing the puck, so I'm gonna take my street puck down. And my family got her own hockey stick for Christmas.
Nice.
And we taped it with pink camo tape for her. So she has her own hockey stick. So we're gonna go down. When I go down next Monday, next Sunday I'm gonna take my hockey stick with me, and we're gonna play hockey. Or as my niece says, we're gonna do the hockey.
Do the hockey.
Do the hockey in the driveway. Plus, I'm gonna go to Hofbrauhaus for dinner next week at some point.
Burger place is awesome.
Next Sunday, I think.
Did you have a big old Stein?
I have my boot.
Oh. With basketball basically flailing off, since the Lakers kind of suck, and that means that LeBron's going to be like, okay, I'm just about done. It's like, I don't see there's nobody to carry on the damn league after this.
John Morant.
Really?
The kid's impressive. He's fun to watch.
Bryce will sit there and go, eh.
Well, I think they thought it was going to be Zion, and how'd that work out?
Yeah, not too well.
Not so great this year.
Nope.
And I remember everybody, like the card collectors and the memorabilia guys, man, they were chasing the shit out of him.
Mm-hmm.
And for what? Das Boot.
Nice.
There's a half-liter boot, and the last Oktoberfest we went to, I drank 6 of these.
Ooh.
And I don't remember half of Oktoberfest.
I was going to say, do you remember any of it?
I do remember being helped to my car by my wife.
And
That's all he remembers.
And that was it.
No, I danced a lot. Because polka.
That I'd pay to see.
I can polka.
Look at Zolt's face. Zolt's like, Bruiser, polka.
I can polka. I'm German. It's in my blood.
Zolt's
He didn't
like,
think he was very fluent and very good at it.
Seriously, growing up in a Polish family, I've heard that music way too much.
mm-hmm.
Every Saturday morning it comes on my radio.
No.
Don't you worry. I had plenty of the family. I recall I got a second uncle or somebody who actually even owned accordions and they would play.
I'm actually glad I didn't know you about 7 years ago. Because knowing that you're Polish, I made a joke when Germany won the World Cup. You would probably have hated me for back then.
I doubt it, but you know.
So we were watching I was watching that World Cup final game. And you all know the story about because that was the year before Rio hosted the Olympics. And you all heard the story about what the German contractors did to the stadium down there, right? Where they etched the final score of the World Cup game in the footer. I actually had somebody from the German national tweet retweet the tweet that I put out and like it, which made me go, oof. But watching that game, I tweeted out, watching World Cup final, Brazil and Germany, and the last time this many Germans gathered in the stadium and began singing and chanting, Poland got very nervous.
Wow. He muted. I didn't do that. Zolt muted him. Zolt muted him.
I know who did it.
I was hovering over the remove button, but then we know Bruiser, he's just not going to come back.
Exactly. Go ahead, fine.
I would have sat there and shot. I was like, wait a minute.
You have no power here.
It's like, yeah.
I'm not Akers. I'm not going to keep trying to come back.
Or Suds.
Or Suds. Poot me. Fine. I'll go do something else. I'm in my office. My bedroom is 10 feet that way through that door. I will go lay in my bed and watch TV. You're not threatening me with booting me.
He was
hey, Bob.
He's, in all fairness,
Bubba.
sitting there with the mute button, and I'm sitting with mine scrolling over the closing just in case.
Just in case, yeah.
It wasn't a terribly distasteful.
I'm sitting there going, okay.
It wasn't a terribly distasteful joke, but it was on the darker spectrum of humor.
Yes, it was.
Which
You
was
just kind of
pretty much,
tiptoeing on that.
yeah, that was pretty much what I was expecting.
I find the dark things funny.
Yeah, I'm sitting there going, all right, how close to hitting that closing video?
Listen, it is my
End
goal.
broadcast, hit video, close. Oh, shoot. I have to hit the close
You have
video.
now made it my goal to get this. Like, one night, George just go, fuck it, never mind, we're done. We're done.
Actually, if Zolt would have booted you, I would have sat there in shock. Wait a minute, what the hell happened? He just
I feel like I have to poke a lot harder to get Zolt actually pissed off to boot me.
Seriously, in order to get me to the point where I'm going to boot you, you've probably already been booted.
Exactly. Like
just to see the fact that he muted you was funny enough.
Yeah.
That
laughed. I thought I know who did it. I was looking at faces and I knew who did it immediately. Just Zolt sitting there with his shit-eating smug grin. I'm like, oh, he did it.
That was one of my. Oh, let's see what this button does.
Trial run.
So we had a party for the 500, Zolt. we're gonna do one for the Coca-Cola 600, which is on a Sunday. It's Memorial Day. You should make the drive down here. Got a big old lake. I got a big old beach with sand. Plenty of room for the kid to run. We're gonna grill, and if the weather's warm, I'm putting on my Speedo. Not that that's a.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, had them up until
It's like
that.
gone, done.
Once that Speedo, that was it.
Appreciate the invite, but no.
You lost him at Speedo.
Yeah.
That is actually a requirement to get in, is you must have one.
Oh my god.
It's just not the selling point you think it is.
Look at this 1984 Oldsmobile Delta 88. It's got window tint. Yeah, but the wheels are falling off. But it's got window tint.
Oh man.
Back to your question about basketball. Nobody cares.
No, I was just gonna say,
something
I
here.
don't think anybody is gonna care about basketball after this.
I think there's a major shift happening in American sports where soccer is rapidly overtaking both basketball and hockey.
I don't know so much about the hockey. I mean, hockey always kind of is a roller coaster.
Hockey's a weird sport as far as like it's got its audience and that audience isn't going anywhere. But it's not the mainstream that it used to be. Like in the 90s, everybody knew about the Red Wings. You would see somebody walking down the street with a Red Wings hat or a Red Wings jersey on,
Or starter jacket.
or a
We
starter
were-
jacket.
We were the Yankees of the NHL. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I mean, and then towards the later end of the 90s and early 2000s, like the ones I always saw were the Penguins, the Blackhawks, the
Sharks.
Red Wings, the Ducks, and the
Sharks.
Stars.
Yeah, I was gonna say almost. Well, and you can thank Disney for the Ducks. So
Well, it's funny you
And the
brought it
Sharks,
up.
and the San Jose Sharks.
yeah,
Sorry.
Sharks.
Well, it's all the newer teams.
Yeah.
Well, I'm talking like late. I'm talking like late, mid to late 90s when I was in high school.
Yeah, San Jose, Anaheim. Yeah, that was.
San Jose. When did San Jose come into the league?
Oh Christ! Now I gotta look that up. Hang on.
When did the 80s? Or the 70s? I thought they'd been around since the 70s.
No.
No,
No.
definitely
I
not.
want to say like 86 or 87.
91.
91.
It was. I was still in high school. Shut up. Figured I'd jump on that one right now.
But it's actually funny you literally brought
91.
up
What was that? Your senior year?
his second senior year.
Fair enough.
Wow. Junior year.
Anyway,
Your third junior year.
that's what you actually brought. You brought that up. I literally just saw the headline, so I clicked on it. U.S. Soccer set to announce English language media rights deal with Turner Sports and HBO.
Wow.
Ooh,
That's big. I mean, considering, is it NBC? NBC has the MLS, right? Or is that ESPN that has MLS? I thought it was NBC.
U.S. Soccer previous deal was with ESPN and Fox Sports. Was
Yeah,
part
it
of a
says
package
Fox.
negotiated, blah blah blah, blah, with media rights for Major League Soccer.
Yeah, it says Fox and ESPN.
Because I'll watch Champions League on Sunday mornings.
And it's
On-
set to expire after this year's season.
Yeah.
Well, I'll watch the Champions League on Sunday mornings with on NBC on their Peacock app because they'll show the games.
UEFA.
The UEFA's Champions League. Tottenham. I don't know why. I just like Tottenham.
That's the Spurs or something.
Yes.
The only time I really watch soccer is when it's the World Cup.
I think everybody watches at the World Cup.
At the very least, I'll pay attention then.
It's a wonder, like, it's weird that sports that have been international for forever are really starting to gain a foothold here in the United States. Like rugby. Rugby is exploding.
Lacrosse.
Lacrosse too, but lacrosse has always kind of been a bit of a mid-range sport here in the U.S. But like,
Yeah, but I'm saying like the fact that there's high school teams now, that's surprising.
well, but the thing with rugby is it's not exploding amongst the men. Rugby is women.
Well, this is an article that just popped up literally a month ago. The top 10 most watched: American football, baseball, basketball, hockey, soccer,
Wait, go back down.
tennis.
Tennis is kind of dying down, I think.
Go back down to hockey. That's Gretzky's. That's Gretzky's daughter.
Okay.
Okay, you keep going.
Yeah, tennis.
I don't agree with that one or that one.
Yeah, I was gonna say. And then wrestling. And then motorsports. How do you
Look how they spelled favorite. I can't
was
even.
gonna say, what
Favorite.
the hell? Who the frick? Who the hell typed up this article? Badminton? Oh, damn.
Oh, sir,
Marble racing didn't make the top 10.
I'm sorry. Did
Don't
you click on clickbait?
Don't you dare besmirch marble racing.
No, I was gonna say I was expecting marble racing right there. I swear to God, I was.
Dare besmirch marble racing.
Hey, we stood there and watched it for what, 15, 20 minutes?
I'm
sorry.
I feel somebody is pulling your leg, because can any of us on this panel say what network badminton airs on?
ESPN the Ocho?
No, it didn't make the cut.
What's funny though is if you have ESPN Plus, if you go on there is a tab called the Ocho.
Mm-hmm.
Where they show all kinds of weird sports, and it is so much fun to watch.
The worst shit is when you go on a fucking cruise and you're trying to watch a football game and all you get is cricket.
Mm.
The Mr. Hero that I go to for lunch plays cricket all the time because it's a Pakistani family that owns it.
That shit is ridiculous on the cruises. I'm trying to watch it. I just don't understand it yet. But
Well, especially when they're saying on how fast these guys are throwing these things, it's like, okay.
Can't like a cricket match last for days?
Yes.
Kind of like this show sometimes.
The top 5 sports.
Wow.
The top 5 sports is in terms of total viewership in 2021 into 2022: American football, basketball, baseball, soccer, and then hockey.
each their own.
I was going to say, ratings are ratings. Ratings?
Okay, it's 10:05. Can we get out of here now?
And yeah, please put us out of our misery.
That's what she said.
Please shoot.